You think your body has already been completely explored. Every organ, every muscle, and every blood vessel has been mapped and studied. Most of what we know about human anatomy was written in textbooks more than 200 years ago. Surgeons have opened the human body thousands of times. Scientists have examined tissues under microscopes for generations. It seemed like there were no mysteries left. But in 2018, everything changed in a single discovery. A group of doctors was performing a routine endoscopy of a patient's bile duct. But instead of seeing the dense tissue they expected, they found something unusual. Something that, according to the textbooks, should not have existed. Right beneath the surface, they discovered a network of tiny fluid-filled channels, a structure that had never been described as a separate system before. Scientists gave it a name, the interstitium, and almost immediately a bigger question appeared. What if this was not just ordinary tissue, but one of the largest organs in the human body? The interstitium is a network of thin, honeycomb-like spaces. These spaces are made of collagen and elastin, and they are filled with fluid.
The network runs directly beneath the skin. It surrounds organs like the intestines and lungs. It also connects with the urinary system, muscles, and blood vessels. Scientists already knew these spaces existed, but they never viewed them as one complete system, a system with its own structure and function. So a simple question appeared. How could an entire organ be missed after more than a century of research? The answer was hidden in the way tissues were studied. To examine samples, scientists first removed water and added chemicals, but that liquid was the key to seeing the hidden structure. Without it, the network collapsed into a flat layer. It looked like ordinary connective tissue. The structure was always there in front of scientists. It simply disappeared during sample preparation.
A new technology changed everything. It was called confocal laser endomicroscopy. A tiny probe with a laser and microscope could enter the body. Doctors could now observe living tissue without removing a sample. For the first time, they could see tissue exactly as it existed inside a living person, without fixing the tissue, without removing its water, and without changing its structure. What scientists saw was completely different from old textbook images. Instead of dense tissue, they found a living network of fluid-filled channels. The network was moving and changing directly on the screen. It revealed a hidden structure that had been invisible for decades.
The scale of this hidden network was enormous. The interstitium surrounded the skin, intestines, and lungs. It was also found around urinary pathways and muscle structures. This network appeared throughout almost every major structure of the body. It was not just a small layer between tissues, it was a connected system spread across the entire body. Scientists began measuring how much fluid this network could contain. The amount of fluid inside it was surprisingly large. Some estimates suggested it could even exceed the volume of blood in the body. This discovery forced researchers to rethink what an organ could be.
If the interstitium is considered a single organ, it changes how we classify the human body. Scientists began asking whether this network deserved the same status as other major organs. Its size and connection throughout the body made it unlike any tissue studied before. The discovery showed that the body still had hidden systems waiting to be understood. The interstitium was not just empty space between organs. It was an active structure with a role inside the body. Researchers started investigating what functions this network could perform. One possible role was helping tissues absorb pressure and movement. The fluid-filled spaces could act like natural shock absorbers. They may help protect organs during everyday movements. The network could also provide pathways for signals and substances moving through tissues.
The cell can travel to distant parts of the body through this hidden network. It may spread faster and more quietly than through traditional pathways. If this hypothesis is confirmed, it could change how we understand cancer movement. The interstitium could become a key to understanding how metastases find their way through the body. There is also a third hypothesis. Scientists believe the interstitium may be closely connected to the lymphatic system. It could be part of a larger fluid circulation system inside the body, a system that we still know very little about. That is why dozens of laboratories around the world are now studying it.
Researchers are rethinking old ideas about how the human body works, from the immune system to the aging of tissues.
First, it is important to be honest. The status of the interstitium as a new organ is not accepted by all scientists yet. The scientific community has not reached a complete agreement about this idea. Some anatomists believe it is simply a previously misunderstood type of connective tissue. They do not consider it a separate organ. However, this is still an active scientific debate with strong evidence behind it. It's an interesting hypothesis, but it is not a final conclusion.
Even without a final answer, one fact remains clear. The human body seemed completely understood, but it turned out to be far more mysterious. More than 100 years of anatomy research still left something hidden. Only now are we beginning to see what was right beneath our skin. Something that existed inside every person who ever lived. If an entire organ could remain hidden for decades, what else could be waiting beneath the surface of what we call ourselves?
Maybe the most unexplored territory on Earth is not the bottom of the ocean or the distant universe. It is your own body.